Starting January 1, 2026, Nigeria's new tax system will be effective, and you need to listen to me carefully because this concerns you, this concerns your money, whether you're running a business or you're hustling online or you're a student or maybe even unemployed at this moment. You need to watch this video from A to Z, because if care is not taken, some people will pay more tax, some people will pay less, and some people will not pay at all. And truth of the matter is, it's not like everybody has to pay tax. Some don't even have to pay at all. But the problem is everyone online is getting it wrong, and it creates some unnecessary panic. I have seen a lot of misconceptions, some half-truth, and people just cooking up stories online, which is why I've decided to come over here today and give you guys some clarification based on the research I've done and my little knowledge. So in this video, I'll be breaking it down clearly in order to be able to be understood by everyday Nigerians, whether you're in Nigeria or you are in the diaspora. So I'm going to show you guys what to do before January 1. We're going to talk about who is going to pay tax and who is not going to pay tax. And we're going to talk about how to get your tax identification number, because this is very important now more than ever. So please make sure to watch this video up until the very end. Like, share, and subscribe. So with that being said, let's dive right in. Okay, hi guys, welcome and welcome back. If you're seeing me for the very first time, hi, my name is Samuel. I am a registered nurse who is just finding some passion in finance, and that is why I have decided to make this video. But usually I talk about life as a nurse and some other things here and there once in a while. Just as a disclaimer, I am not like an expert in finances, but this video is based solely on research, and I will not come over here to give you guys half-baked truths or half-baked information. I make sure that this information that I'm giving is right. So if you feel like anything is probably not right that you know, please do leave it in the comment section for people to learn. With that being said, let us go into today's video in details. Now, the government has put out this whole tax thing, and to be honest with you, it is making people panic. Even me, I am like panicking, like what on earth is happening, because you need to be careful now more than ever. I'm going to make another video after this video, like just basically like guiding you guys how to avoid overpaying tax and stuff that you should know, basically, even if you are in the diaspora. So before we move on, I just have a question for the government. I hope there can be transparency in this whole tax system, because in countries like the United Kingdom, you have the opportunity to go online and search how your tax is being used, and there is transparency for you to see like what is being spent on housing, transportation, health, etc. So the question to the government is, will this level of transparency be available for taxpayers in Nigeria? Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, there's nobody that likes paying tax, whether in Nigeria here or abroad. Nobody likes to pay taxes. Taxes are like a fishbone stuck in the throat. But in developed countries, you know, we just comply because we know what the tax is being used for and we see what it's being used for. So we just have to comply. But will this be the same in Nigeria? Because to be honest with you, once Nigerians see what their tax is being used for, compliance will flow naturally. So that is why I put it to the government to please try and make sure that this process is as transparent as possible. Okay, so who are those who will be paying tax and who are those who will not be paying tax? So those who will not be paying tax are those whose income is below 800,000 naira per annum, which is approximately like 400 pounds. Jesus. So if your total annual income, that means like from January to December, is like 800,000 or below, you will not be paying tax. You know what? I pray and I really hope that anyone watching this video, anyone in this community that is in Nigeria, should be eligible to pay taxes. Like I don't pray for you to have an income below 800,000 naira, in Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so what about students and retirees? So students and retirees will not also be paying taxes, but if you have like a business, a hustle, like an online stuff, and you are generating an income, then that income is taxable. Your pension or like benefits, like something like people give you as a student, you can be taxed on that because they are not like income per se, but the income from your business, you will be paying tax on those ones regardless of your age or status. Some people are retired and they are getting their retirement benefits and also having like a business on the side. So for that business on the side, you will definitely be paying tax for that one. Now, what about gifts? Once it is a gift, you do not need to pay tax on this, but just make sure that the person who is sending that money to you clearly indicates that it is a gift. What about churches and mosques? Churches and mosques will not be required to pay taxes as well, but their workers will be required to pay taxes. For example, if you are like a full-time pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God and you are earning salary from the Redeemed Christian Church of God, if your total annual income is over 800,000 naira, then you would be expected to pay tax on your salary. This makes it seem like basically any other job. Now, what are the things that you do not need to pay tax on, or like there's basically nothing like taxes on them? There's food, transportation, rent, education, and healthcare. So one of the benefits of this new tax system is that there will be no tax on basic need, and this is very good because it's like an attempt to lower the cost of living. In fact, this list has been expanded, and I feel like this is a really great move by the government as a means to reduce the cost of living. So if you run businesses in this area, please do not use this avenue to raise prices unnecessarily and make life a living hell for people. So let us talk about the new personal income tax rates. So if you earn from 800,000 naira and below, your percentage is 0%. And if it is from 800,001 naira to 3 million naira per annum, you'll be paying 15% tax. And if it is from 3 million 1 naira to 12 million naira, you'll be paying 18% tax. And if it is from 15 million naira and above, then you will be paying 25% tax. What you should understand is that these are like banned. So if you earn from this ratio, for example, 800,001 naira to 3 million naira, this is a band, it's a ratio. So within that ratio, you will be paying that actual percentage, which is 15% tax rate. So this is like a band, and this is how it works in most other countries as well. So if you want, I can make a separate video regarding this and giving you guys examples. We break it down and calculate your potential tax rates and discuss your potential tax payments, like the actual amount that you would be paying as tax. Now, what about taxes on investments? So this is where people are actually confused, and the answer to this is that yes, dividends are taxed, but you do not need to worry because it actually gets taxed already before the money gets to you, just like how it works in the UK. Your salary is already taxed even before it gets to you, so you need not worry about this. So what if you are selling shares? You do not need to pay tax if the total amount of value sold in a year is not up to 150 million naira, but you may need to pay tax if your total profit exceeds 10 million naira. So it's either the total value sold in a year exceeds 150 million naira, or your net profit is over 10 million naira. So it's either of both. So what about treasury bills and FGN bonds? Now, what do you do about this? You do not need to worry because there is no tax for that as well. The institutions have already settled that. So, there are some that the government already handles. It's just like the UK, like they already handle, and you don't need to worry about a lot of things. They already know like what things are going on, and which I love. And I think like the government of Nigeria is trying to step up to other countries with regards of this tax collection, but I hope they step up in other areas as well. Now, what about corporate bonds? So this has like a 10% withholding tax, and this is not something new. It has always existed. It is not something new. So if you are already in the system, there's really no need to panic. Now, let us talk about mutual funds. So it depends on what the funds invest in. If it is like government securities, it is usually tax free, but if it is like equities, then they are usually taxed. Okay, so what about crypto and digital assets? So cryptos and digital assets can be taxed only on net gains. That means like your profits on your cryptos. But if you make a loss, of course you don't need to pay a tax. Like, who would be paying tax on a loss anyway? The big question, and what I was really concerned about, was for Nigerians in diaspora. You do not need to pay tax. Unlike what people are saying, you do not need to pay tax. However, if you have a business in Nigeria, or maybe you are running an online hustle or something in Nigeria, and you know your profit exceeds 800,000 naira per year, or like the brackets that I talked about earlier, then you may need to pay tax. You will have to pay tax. So if it's not anything relating to you running a business in Nigeria, then that is different. You do not need to pay tax. Now, what do you have to do to get your tax identification number, also known as TIN? So going forward, everybody needs a tax identification number, including the Iyalata in your Adubo and Mama Mepura Donono, the one selling F4, the one selling Akamakara. They all need to get a tax identification number. So if I am you, I would make sure I listen emphatically and get a tax identification number for all of my family members. So how do you get one for yourself and your family members? All you have to do is to go to this website that you're seeing on the screen right now and register yourself or for your family in order to get a tax identification. Please, you don't have to wait till January 2026 before you do this. Although, like, I don't know if I'll be able to publish this video before January because of editing and stuff, but I really hope I'm able to put it out before then. Okay, so I hope that I am able to like cover most points. I hope that I've been able to explain a lot of things, but peradventure I am missing out on some. I know you may have like a bit of questions here and there. Please do make sure to leave it in the comment section, and I'll try as much as possible to answer and anticipate my next video as well, which will be talking about some things in details. So if that being said, I hope you understand this video. Please give me a like button, upvote, share and subscribe, and I hope to see you in my subsequent videos. So until next time, bye.
Don't let the beat whistle, just try to blend into the tone. Don't let the beat whistle, just let your praise flow to the tune. Don't let